Most people think the family court decides parenting cases by asking one question: who is the better parent? That idea alone has caused more panic, bad legal advice, and unnecessary fighting than almost anything else in family law, because that's not how it works, not even close. Let's talk about how parenting cases are really decided, what judges are actually looking at, and why some parents are shocked when they walk out of court thinking, how the hell did that just happen to me? Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Hayder Shakara, an Australian lawyer, and if you want clear, real-world explanations, you're in the right place. Now, here's the first truth that surprises people, and that is family court is not trying to punish anyone. Judges aren't there to reward the good parent or to tell off the bad one. They're not there to hand out trophies for being the best parent in the world or sympathy points if you've been suffering. Their job is to make decisions based on one guiding principle, and that is the best interests of the child. Now, that phrase gets thrown around a lot, and to be honest, it gets quite annoying because it's so vague, right? What does that even mean? Everyone has a different idea of what's best for the child, and that's the whole point as to why you're in court, because you can't agree what's best for the child. So let me simplify it for you. This is what my take on it is. The best interest of the child means what arrangement will be the least disruptive to this child to support this child's safety, the stability, and the child's development moving forward. When a judge looks at a parenting case, they're asking practical, forward-thinking questions. Stability is huge, and judges care deeply about consistency. Who's been taking the child to the school? Who's been scheduling this child's doctor's appointments? Who speaks to the teachers and knows the teachers' names without having to ask? Courts are really hesitant to disrupt a routine of a child unless there's a really strong reason to do so. And that's why you often hear lawyers say things like, the status quo matters, let's not break the status quo. It's not because judges are lazy, it's because kids generally do better with predictability than all of a sudden changing all of their circumstances and putting them through a sudden upheaval. So what does the court actually consider? Here are the 6 main points that the courts will look at when making decisions about children. Number 1, it looks at the safety of the child and the safety of the people who care for the child. That includes things like any history of family violence and any family violence orders that are in place. This is a big one, and it's not treated as a side issue. It is potentially the biggest issue that they'll look at. If there's a real risk to safety, that can reshape everything. It can reshape how time happens, whether changeovers need strong structure, whether contact needs supervision, or even changeovers need supervision. And in serious cases, whether time is paused completely with one parent so a court can figure out what protections are needed in place. Number 2, the courts look at the child's views. Now, that doesn't mean the child chooses which parent they like they're picking a school football team at lunchtime. What it means is depending on the child's age, the child's maturity, and all of the circumstances, their views can be taken into account carefully. And so that means they can be considered, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be just taken and the judge is going to make a decision based on what the child wants themselves. So as an example, if you've got a 6-year-old child that's saying that they want to live with their mum and not spend any time with their dad, that's going to be taken very differently to a 12-year-old child who is saying the same thing. A court is more likely to give preferences to children that are older. And yes, there is a bit of a buffer zone, and that's probably once a child starts hitting 11, 12, that's when their views are going to be taken more seriously. Number 3, the court considers the child's developmental, their psychological, and their emotional needs. And in other words, it's what the child needs to thrive, not just survive. How are they going at school? What are they doing in their extracurriculars? What cultural connections matter for their identity? All of those extra things that can provide good structure and stability for a child. Number 4, the court will look at the capacity of the parent or any person that's responsible for the child and whether that parent is able to meet the needs of that child. This is when the court starts looking at the practical reality of things. Who can do school morning runs? Who can pick up the children after school? Who has a stable enough mental health situation? Who has support from family members? Who can provide a stable environment? Who understands the child developmental needs? Who's able to emotionally support the child? The court's going to look at all of these factors when deciding whether or not the child can spend time with a particular parent. Number 5, the court will consider the benefit of the child of having a relationship with each of their parents and other significant people like grandparents or other family members. And so a key part to this is the court will focus first on whether it's safe to have that relationship. And the law is very clear that relationships matter, but safety matters more than that. So if one parent is safe and is in tune and the other parent is unpredictable or violent or constantly undermining the child's sense of safety, the court is not going to pretend those two situations are the same. And number 6, finally, the court can consider anything else that's relevant to the child's particular circumstances. And this is a bit of a catch-all kind of phrase. Every family is different. One child might have additional needs, or they might have therapy schedules. Another might have a strong bond with their grandparents. Another might have lived with their grandparents or lived overseas. So this number 6 gives the court full ability to look at the whole picture. So if this is helping you understand how family court really works, I would appreciate if you would hit like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep creating content that you people enjoy. Now let's look at the practical realities of taking your matter to the family court. Family court decisions are often imperfect. You're not going to get this beautiful decision where everything is all solved, because guess what? Judges don't have unlimited time. They don't have unlimited information. They're not able to predict the future. They've got hundreds of cases in their case list. In your case, yes, it's the most important to you, but they only have a few hours or a few days to listen to your matter. And really, when it comes to kids, you know your kids better than anyone else. You would know your kids better than a judge. And that's why when you're going to court, preparation matters more than all of the other frills. So you need to make sure you have all of your evidence in line, text messages, your school records, your medical notes, anything that could potentially shape the outcome, because you want to put your best foot forward in the short amount of time you have in the courtroom. But here's the part that really throws people out, and that is, in most cases, I've seen both parents leave the courtroom unhappy. And that doesn't mean that the judges failed. It just means that judges kind of like to give a little bit of something to one party and a little bit of something to the other party to make sure there's a bit of an equal ground there. And what that normally does is it annoys both parties because they never get fully what they want. So going into court, you need to at least have that expectation when you're going in. So if you have any questions about how the court works, or if there's a topic you want me to cover next, drop it in the comments. And if you're dealing with a situation right now, reach out to me and my team. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.